Guys, I'm so pregnant now. I am 34 weeks, almost 35 weeks. So today I wanted to come on and answer some of your questions about, keep sliding back in the seat. Can't get comfortable, one sec. First off, if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Steph. I have a channel called Wigs with Steph, and I actually started this channel because one of my symptoms from hyperthyroidism, Graves disease, is hair loss. Now, when you have Graves disease, you can either have Graves disease and hyperthyroidism, or you have Graves disease with hyperthyroidism as a symptom, and that was my case. So I struggled with that for over 6 years. And if you guys are interested, I did another video on my whole situation in depth, listing off all my symptoms and everything. So that's not what I'm going to talk about in this video. If you want to see that, please click the link up above. I'll stick it up above here. I'll also put it in the description and the comment section for your convenience if you wanted to watch that. But today I really wanted to focus on recovery. Now, disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am not somebody who knows everything. This is just what I did, and this is my own situation. So please take that with a grain of salt. You could say I tried everything, guys, because when you start losing your hair, when you go from being a woman or a man who's had luscious locks before growing up, and then all of a sudden you lose your hair, it's really an emotional time for some people, and it definitely was for me. I remember like when my hair fell out on my pillow, and in my shower it would come out in clumps, like not a normal amount, like, you know, when you shower as a normal person and you know your hair will naturally shed. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like big clumps of hair falling out of your head. And so I knew at the start, like, okay, something's wrong. And of course I had a whole number of other symptoms that was making me feel like I was going crazy in the head. By the way, like, it took me seeing, this is ridiculous, but it took me seeing like 7 doctors when I was 21 years old until I finally found a doctor, guys, who would listen to me and test me for hyperthyroidism. And then they also found the Graves disease. They kept saying that I was, you know, PMSing. Like, because the first time I went in to see the doctor, I was on my period, and I was talking about how like my mental clarity wasn't there, and I just felt sort of like a crazy person. And that's one of the Graves disease symptoms. So gosh, that was really frustrating. I should have been diagnosed probably way before I was diagnosed, but it took such a long time to find a doctor who believed me that I felt like something was wrong, and who actually listened to me and then decided to test me. So after that, after I was diagnosed, I kind of like went on this journey of, okay, there's so many symptoms. I got the shakes like crazy, like the tremors. Like, I remember I would pick up a coffee cup and I would shake the liquid out of the cup. It was just really bad, and I felt like I couldn't be myself, felt like I didn't even want to smile. Like, life was just really hard. So I kind of got to the point where it was like, enough is enough. I am so sick of feeling this way. I need to change this. Like, I have to get better. And so what the doctors had told me, my specialist at the time, and what every specialist was saying was like, if you don't go into remission after a year of being on methimazole, the medication I was taking, then your body probably will never go into remission. And so they recommended I take a different step at that time and either kill the thyroid with iodine, radioactive iodine, or have surgery and get it cut out and removed. They truly believe that if you didn't go into remission by after a year, then you're just not going to. Well, sorry, I didn't listen to that because I didn't want to cut my thyroid out. I didn't want the scar. I was in the modeling industry. I was modeling at the time. I didn't want the scar. And yeah, that's vain of me to say. I know some people do get the surgery and it's barely noticeable, the scar, and that is fantastic. But everybody has their own life and they have their own opinions. And mine personally was, I would rather try to get healthy first, even if it took me a longer time, even if it took me longer than a year. Because I did ask them, I was like, could I stay on methimazole longer than a year if I didn't go into remission? And I remember that year passed, and then they're like, okay, let's look at other solutions. Let's either cut it out or kill it with radioactive iodine. And I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to go back to being normal. I wanted that so bad, guys, that I was like, I'm going to figure this out. I personally believe the body is all connected, like mind, body, soul. And stress, I think, plays a huge factor in health. I think anxiety plays a huge factor in health. I think if you can minimize those two, I did, and I think that really helped me. I got out of a bad relationship way back then at that time, and I started to feel more like myself without that person. I sort of was able to grow on my own after that. And it wasn't just that. I'm not just blaming that relationship or that person. It was also my diet. It was also exercising. I didn't exercise too much. I didn't have that good of a diet at the time. I had a higher sugar diet. I had a lot more sugar. I wasn't really aware of it. I think I was having so much bread, which of course has sugar. I was having sugar candies. I was living my life and just having sugar all the time, like a lot of people do, right? Now, I do not want to get into the whole diet topic. Don't want to give advice on diet. Everyone is so different. I can only tell you what I did, and I personally tried to veer away from sugar as much as I possibly could. I actually did keto for a bit. It did not make my weight worse. I know that's going to be a comment that comes my way, is well, with hyperthyroidism stuff, you don't have much weight on you to begin with, so why would you do keto? Because that's for people who want to lose weight. No, actually it's not. It's for people who want to steer clear of sugar, have lots of protein, minimize carbohydrates, and just get their energy back and feel really good. I can tell you that because I did that, it led me down a path of health. Whether keto was right for me or not, which I believe it personally was at that time in my life, it led me down a path of being more conscious with what I was eating and putting into my body. I started to view food as fuel versus pleasure. And I think that distinction right there really has helped me throughout my many years and then into recovery from hyperthyroidism, Graves disease. Now, I also want to say that Graves disease does not go away. It's not like I'm sitting here today oh, I don't have Graves disease. No, I still have Graves disease. I just have no symptoms anymore. And my hyperthyroidism is in remission, meaning what is happening with my voice? That was weird. Meaning that I'm now operating as a normal person, a normal bodily functioning person now, where my thyroid works on its own without meds. It's not super active, not super hyper anymore, and it's also not hypo. It hasn't gone the other direction where it's slowed way down and now I need help with that, right? No, I am a normal human being now. And are you ready for this? How long did it take me? It took me 6 years. 6 years of specialists telling me I should really just cut it out. I should cut my losses. I should cut it out or kill it and then go on synthetic hormone, which I didn't want to do. Some people cut out their thyroid and they feel perfectly normal. They go on to live happy, healthy lives, and I am so happy for them. But that was not what I wanted to do. So it took me 6 years to get to that point, guys, where I was free and clear, and they told me, you're in remission. I'm in remission? You said what? You're in remission. So I was so excited. Now, the first time I went into remission, I was only able to stay in remission for a year. And I think the reason I came out of remission and fell back into having the symptom of hyperthyroidism and going the little craziness I always feel when my Graves disease flares up and getting the tremors back was because of stress. So it's taken many years of this whole situation where I came to the realization that mind, body, soul, all connected, and stress plays a huge part. I need to minimize stress. That's not to say, I have to step back from work or I have to step back from life, because life obviously can have stressful times. There's challenges in life all the time, right? Every day. That's not what I'm saying. I didn't want to step away from life. I didn't want to quit. I just wanted to manage my stress. This is interesting too. What I found is that even with things that are exciting for me, like adrenaline, which I like, for example, riding on roller coasters is adrenaline. I like that feeling. But if I have too much of that I think like also signals to my body to, I don't know what, I don't know why, I don't know what, but my Graves disease will flare up, even with just adrenaline, even if it's not like direct stress where I felt like, oh, I was totally fine. No, even if it's just constant adrenaline for whatever reason, my Graves disease will flare up. Isn't that wild? Like, it's weird. And so because I've had Graves disease for so long now, even though I'm in remission, when I came out of remission, like years ago, for that brief period of time, it allowed me to recognize almost instantly the changes within myself and my body when I come out of remission. So this is very beneficial, the fact that I was able to recognize this, because when it happened, I called my doctor and I said, hey, I know you haven't heard from me in a while because I've been in remission, but I think my hyperthyroid is hyper again. Will you please test me? And he's like, I don't think you have anything to worry about, but yeah, I'll test you. So I took the blood test. I was hyper. I was right. I felt it and I was right. So if you take anything from this video, guys, you are right. If you feel like something's off, something is probably off. If you feel like you can go into remission one day, then I feel like you should try for that. I feel like you should just do what you feel is right for you. Whether that's you need to cut your thyroid out, or you need to kill your thyroid with radioactive iodine, or you want to go on synthetic hormone, or you just want to try to go into remission. I'm a big advocate for it's a do-it-yourself program and you're in control of your own life, and I think you should absolutely do what you want to do and what you feel is right for you, because at the end of the day, nobody knows you better than you, and I truly believe that. So basically what it came to for me was diet, exercise, limiting stress, try to have like little anxiety, just try to enjoy things in life. Like right now, I'm sitting on my front porch in Calgary. For those of you who have followed my journey a little bit here on my YouTube channel, I am no longer in Toronto. Dan and I have moved out to Calgary, Alberta. We trekked across the country. We're here now. We're setting up our nursery. Life is good. That was the stressful time. I was a little concerned that maybe my hyperthyroidism would flare up, or Graves would flare up and I would get a symptom. I didn't. I'm still in remission. I still feel completely like normal, and that's fantastic. I'm slowly able to increase my stress levels and I can take it on like a normal person. It's weird saying a normal person. Normal person. Just trying to distinguish between the two feelings, right? But right now, like I'm on my front porch, I'm looking up at this beautiful tree just out in front of me here. There's nature all around. There's a lake across the way, and I'm so thankful for my health that I have now. Yes, my hair is still thin. Yes, I still wear wigs, and I will continue to wear wigs. And even though my hair has come back a little bit, it will never be thick, luscious locks like it was when I was a kid. It never will be. Because I think, like, I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, but I think like Graves disease probably changes something chemically in your body. Like, I don't know, that sort of makes sense to me, that my hair is just, it's not gonna be thick again. But even if it came back, I would never stop wearing wigs because I've fallen in love with them. This is a wig, by the way. If you're new to my channel, maybe you didn't recognize my name was Wigs with Stuff, but yeah, this is a wig too, and I wear wigs constantly because I have fallen in love with them and they make me feel great. And I don't need to wear my own hair anymore. I don't spend money at the hair salon. I cut my hair myself. I don't dye my hair anymore. I think this is like a big reason for why my hair has been able to look healthy underneath again, and I just like feel good with my own self. And so like when I'm at home, I take my wigs off, of course. I don't wear them constantly. I don't wear them to bed. Dan sees me with them and without them, and my family sees me with them and without them, and it's it's just great. It's great. If you guys like wig content, I would love for you to subscribe and stick with me on this channel. I love to hear from you guys. I love your comments. And if you guys have been through a similar thing, like maybe you were just diagnosed with hyperthyroidism or Graves disease, or you have another thing you're battling with, I would love for you to write that in the comments section. This is a page where we can talk to each other, help each other, comfort each other, be here for each other, and just like have a supportive network of people. So that has ultimately been my whole goal for this channel, and so far so good. Everybody's been really kind. I genuinely like enjoy coming on here and talking to this screen. Like, I'm not looking at someone's face, guys. I'm looking at a screen. I'm looking back at myself, but it feels as though I'm reaching people, and I really like it. It makes me feel good, and especially during this time where I'm still working, but you know, I'm having a baby soon, so I'm stepping back a little bit. I wanted my channel, my Wigs with Steph channel, to be there and be a place where I can come and just feel happy among friends. So thank you so much for being here with me today and chatting with me today. If you have any questions or any other topics that you'd like me to cover, because it's not always easy for me to guess what you guys want to know. You know what I mean? Like, I tried to answer in depth what I could for this video, but it is quite possible that I said something that brought up another question from you guys, and yeah, just leave them below and I'll do my best to respond to that. Thank you so much for being here today. I will see you next time.